Today is June 22nd, 2017. It is Thursday, day 154 in the Donald Trump White House regime. Donald Trump says, "I will not hire poor people because, quite frankly, they are just morons." Or at least we know he feels that way. He has used the word moron in the past.
You're poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it, but I like it better this way, right? So
Yeah, golden one, I think I'm going to have to insist this time. Yeah, I think I will. There really is no other story today. This is the story. Donald Trump wants nothing to do with poor people. Oh, possibly later on today he could bomb North Korea, and that would be a bigger story. But unless he decides to bomb North Korea, this is the only story today. Poor people do not apply.
You're poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it, but I like it better this way, right? So
Actually, considering your 4 bankruptcies, no, it does not make sense, Donnie. And yes, I think I will insist. You see, Donald Trump has said that poor people suck. This is a special segment today on poor people. You are morons. According to the Golden One, you are nothing but an idiot. I am really surprised that he even lets you exist. Oh, I forgot. He does need somebody to serve him that beautiful chocolate cake. How could I forget that?
You're poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it, but I like it better this way, right? So
What was it? Was it 4 bankruptcies or was it 6 bankruptcies? I always get that mixed up. I don't know why. Until those Hollywood dual citizens came and saved you and say, "Oh, Donnie, here's a reality TV show. You'll get rich on this reality TV show because we own all the media and we can make you or break you." So, I guess that might have something to do with why Donald Trump doesn't want to be around poor people. It's the rich people who have made Donald Trump what he is today. I think that Morning Joe is probably not the only American who is speechless after finding out that Donald Trump despises us so badly. Basically, Donald Trump thinks we are morons. It's a quote. If you're poor, you're nothing more than an idiot. So please, just bring me my sparkling water, and yes, I think I'll have some of that beautiful chocolate cake. And the irony of it is, after 4 bankruptcies, if the Hollywood masters did not give him a reality TV show, he'd probably be hawking donuts on 51st and Broadway. Yeah.
You're poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it, but I like it better this way, right? So
No, actually the more I think about it, no, it doesn't make any sense at all. What really makes sense is you're a spoiled, rotten schmuck, and you think you're better than everybody else. Yes, that's the sad part. You're such a pathetic, little, small individual that you actually have to feel like you're better than us. Maybe that explains why you're not filling any of the positions. So many positions are going unfilled in the big critical jobs in the government because you cannot find any more rich people that can support you. There ain't that many rich people out there, Donnie. You see, that's the problem. You've run out of rich people who will even work for you. And now the only people left is what? Like 99% of America. And we all happen to be poor with no job. What did Hillary call us? I think Hillary called us the deplorables. Yes. And there's no way in hell that you're going to hire a deplorable.
you're poor. But in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it. But I like it better this way, right? So we...
For the umpteenth time, Donnie, yes, I think we're going to have to insist. You see, we did not send you to the White House to make rich people richer. We sent you to the Oval Office so you would put deplorables back to work again. Okay? Do I have to repeat that? We did not send you to Washington, D.C. so you could let your 36-year-old slumlord son-in-law surrender America to Israel. No. That's not remotely what we sent you there for. Actually, we sent you to Washington, D.C. to drain the swamp. Do you remember that one? Drain the swamp.
You're poor. But in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it. But I like it better this way, right? So we...
Actually, to us poor people, it's starting to make perfect sense now. Yes, it's all coming clear to us now. Yes, you want to make millionaires into billionaires. And all your billionaire friends, you want to make them into trillionaires. The deplorables? Well, they're going to have to just fend for themselves, I guess. Or, like I said, there's always a job as a servant. You can flip hamburgers. You can serve me my sparkling water. You can serve me my steak and lobster. And then after I'm done with that, you know what I want. Yes, I want my chocolate cake. I want it, I want it nice and fresh. But to tell you the truth, those 404 very important, critical government jobs, well, I think it'd be better to leave those jobs empty and not filled than to put a poor, pathetic, unemployed, deplorable American in that position. You see, it just doesn't make sense to put a poor man in such a critical, important government job.
You're poor. But in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it. But I like it better this way, right? So Donnie, by now you probably get the point. You probably understand, Donnie, that yes, I think we're going to have to insist that you put some poor, unemployed deplorables to work. Yes, I think we're going to have to insist on that, Donnie. Quite frankly, I'm starting to feel a little sorry for you. I mean, if all you're going to do is watch CNN and Fox News, and you're worried about what these shills and these pathetic pieces of dog shit on TV have to say about you, if that's all you're worried about, Donnie, well, you know what? I'm starting to be concerned. I'm starting to feel sorry for you. And quite frankly, there's nothing worse than to have a poor, unemployed, pathetic American like myself feel sorry for you, Donnie. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. Seriously. You're poor. But in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it. But I like it better this way, right? Now myself, I've never been a big fan of Alexander Hamilton. But I'm sure there's many government people out there who worship Alexander Hamilton. What a shame if Donald Trump was in charge back then, and Alexander Hamilton would not even have a job. He probably wouldn't have even been hired for the military. Who knows? Maybe Alexander Hamilton would have had to clean up the horses in the stable and occasionally go fetch some chocolate cake for Donald Trump and his kind of people. It really is sad. And to think that so many poor, deplorable Americans voted for this schmuck. But anybody who watches my videos, you know that I try to find the silver lining. I try to look for the good things in life. I try to be optimistic. And even though a sitting president can never be indicted for a crime, and even though there will not be a grand jury,
The good news is that there can be an investigation. And even though he may not be the target of the investigation, guess what? If there is an investigation, there can be an impeachment. So there is good news here. Even though Donald Trump is not the target of an investigation, and even though there'll never be a grand jury, and even though there'll never be an indictment, guess what, poor people of America? Poor people of America, unite, because there could quite possibly be an impeachment. And since we don't have any jobs, well, maybe that would be good entertainment. So in closing, Golden One, since you can no longer count on the poor people of America, maybe you should pray to your God, Yahweh.